Thank you very much. A Connecticut prosecutor is asking the court to block the release of 9/11 recordings from the Sandy Hook 911 recordings, of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting.
A New Britain Superior Court judge is holding a hearing Friday. In September, the Freedom of Information Commission ruled the recordings of calls from inside the school must be provided to the AP, which asked for them in order to examine the police's response to the massacre. Stephen Sadesky, the state's attorney, believes not releasing the calls will protect crime victims and witnesses.
Every year, thousands of people come together to raise money for the American Cancer Society.
Some are personally affected. Some are there in support of friends and family. An event taking place tomorrow will recognize a different relationship, the companionship between a man and a man's best friend. KOMU8 Shay McAllister is live in Jefferson City with details about this year's Bark for Life fundraising event. A federal judge ruled New York City has violated the rights of nearly 1,000 of its residents. Find out what the city did wrong after the break. Here's a live look over mid-Missouri. It is 4:35 in the morning. This is KOMU8 News, coverage you can count on. Welcome back. New York City has violated the rights of about 900,000 of its residents with disabilities by failing to accommodate for their needs during emergencies. A federal judge ruled this on Thursday, specifically focusing on Hurricane Sandy when many New Yorkers with disabilities were stranded for days. The judge cited the city's failure to develop evacuation plans for people with disabilities in high-rise buildings. The ruling arose from a lawsuit filed in 2011 after Tropical Storm Irene. Back then, supplies had to be hoisted up and into apartments in the days after the storm. An Illinois child was seriously wounded after being shot Wednesday night. Police say 6-year-old Brian Fernandez was in the backseat of a car heading to a tutoring session when the driver, Fernandez's 19-year-old brother, got into an argument with someone. Police say that's when the shooting started and the child was struck by a bullet. A friend of the family says Fernandez remains in the intensive care unit at Chicago's C9 Hospital. A Minnesota daycare owner who is charged with 4 counts of neglect or endangerment of a child made her first court appearance Thursday. The court ruled Jane Coate can't operate a daycare, can't have any drugs or alcohol, and can't come in contact with the family that reported the incident. According to court documents, when police arrived at Coate's daycare, her blood alcohol level was at 1.8, more than twice the legal limit. The owner of a ride at the North Carolina State Fair that investigators say injured 5 people after safety equipment was disabled has turned himself in. 32-year-old Joshua Macaroni is scheduled to appear in court today. Prosecutors charged him with 2 felony counts of assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury. In a statement, his attorney said his client was puzzled by his arrest but plans to cooperate with law enforcement. A European satellite that ran out of fuel will start falling in the next few days. Fragments of the 2,000-pound spacecraft are expected to strike Earth. Nobody knows where or when the fragments will hit, but the European Space Agency said the parts are likely to fall in the ocean or in populated areas. Potential spots will be narrowed down closer to the re-entry. The IRS is sending a warning to consumers to be on the alert for phone and email scams that use the IRS name. If you receive a phone call from someone claiming to be with the IRS, it could be a hoax. Callers claiming to be from the IRS tell intended victims that they owe taxes and must pay using a prepaid debit card or wire transfer. Those who refuse to pay are threatened with arrest, deportation, or loss of a business or driver's license. If you do owe taxes, the IRS will contact you first by mail, not by phone. Google wants to know where you are and what you're buying. According to DigiDay, Google is said to be testing a new program that registers your visits to retail stores via your smartphone, but it can only track your shopping movements if you've opted for location services on your mobile device. Experts say the idea is to provide a way for advertisers to know about consumers' buying habits. Now, just because you're allergic to a certain food might not mean you have to cut it out completely out of your diet.
We'll tell you why. That's coming up next in your health news. Welcome back. It's been established for some time that trans fats are bad news when it comes to a healthy heart.
So the FDA is working to ban trans fat from our food supply. NBC's Erica Edwards has the skinny.
Since the 1950s, partially hydrogenated oils, aka
Despite the alcohol industry standard against marketing to underage youth, alcohol ads are still common on shows kids watch. Researchers used local ratings data to determine the number of children watching sports and other programs on network and cable TV. They found 25% of alcohol ads are shown on programs where a third of the local audience is not the drinking age. They say alcohol companies should use local data when buying ad space since viewing habits vary by city. A chance to be Cinderella, complete with a horse-drawn carriage.
And the support of her elementary school, her family, and her best friend. NBC's Katie Bauer has more.